Satsankalpa. How do we live then? Should not a rishi life be chanting the name of God? Like you imagine rishi is going to Himalayas and, just in devotion to God. Rishis have left behind their teachings. They are called the Vedas. And I'm citing the Vedas. I'm reading the Vedas with you. What does the next mantra say? कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगुं सम एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे. Satam samam, not even 1 year, 2 years, for hundreds of years, jijivishet, one should aspire for living. It's not jivet. There's a difference between living and really wanting to live. There's a force in jijivisha, arduous desire, like a urge to want to live for 100 years of life. We don't want to just live a life here. I'm living it anyway. But we should strive for living 100 years of our life. This is a command. Jiji vishet. The verb is used in the sense of a command. The rishi commands you to live 100 years of your life. But he just is not saying live whatever the way you like. Kurvan neveha karmani. Iha, in this world, karmani kurvan eva. While doing your actions. You cannot say, now I'm old, I'm retired. You are retired from one work, one job that used to pay, but now you don't need that payment, that salary. In Hindi, we have beautiful word, naukri. No, for job, we say naukri in Hindi. And one who has the job, we call that naukar. Naukar is slave. So you just don't need slavery in your life. When you retire means you are not a slave now. So then you can carve what you are going to do for your free life. And then, no, I don't want to do anything. No. Now is the time you have a choice to do your action. Before you were just doing whatever gave you the livelihood. Now, if you retire, now you can start your action. You can live the life filled with good action. So there are these karma, vikarma, akarma. Bhagavad Gita lays out. So sometimes we see akarma in karma. Sometimes we see karma in akarma. Karma is complex. Only situation can tell you what is karma. Don't kill. That is a universal teaching. But situation might come that you have to kill. Otherwise, the person who is vicious, who has vowed just to kill for no reason, he will wipe you out. Then you have not maintained dharma. Truthful, speak the truth, that is your dharma. But situation might come that you cannot speak the truth because your truth might destroy the whole society, community. So you are not benefiting by lying. You are not trying to trick from the truth, but you have to constantly evaluate in the field as the situation unfolds and then live this life at that time while acting. Now, Many of us are taught that Naishkarmya, as long as you are tied to these karma, rituals, all these relational things, uh, good and bad, and then there is virtue and vice, punya and papa, going to swarga and nirati, or heaven and hell, and you are tied. You cannot liberate. That is what some people teach you. They are deluded. How can I say they are deluded? Evam toi nanyathaito asti. Evam toi, in such a person like you, who is living a life filled with action, ita na anyatha asti. There is no other path for you. There is no alternative to action. If you want to live the life of a rishi, your life has to be the life of duty. Your life has to be the life of action. Many students come to me, Guruji, can you teach me meditation? Half of them I know are smoking ganja. And they are told that meditation is as good as ganja. I can see in their eyes. You get used to see these things. You develop like Rishi's sense, Rishi's eyes. So they are not cut out to do any dharma. Forget meditation. It's like you want the highest teaching of the rishis, but you are not starting the foundational teachings of the rishis. You want to abandon karma. You do not know what karma is. You have not done one single action. That is flood from the beginning. That is a disaster before the action. So, evam toi nanyatha ita asti. In you as such, there is no alternative, there is no other way around. But karmas are tying. Karmas always create bondage. Karma bandha. You know? Karmas bind. How can you say such thing? I am not saying anything. Na karma lippate nare. That is the last section of the same mantra number 2. In the person who is doing action with truthfulness, karma does not smear upon him, does not stick to him. He's like a Padma Patra Mivambasa. Like he does action, comes through the mud and blossoms like a lotus. So this is the path of the rishi. We get confused sometimes with the path of the sramanas. And we mix up the ideal of a rishi with the ideal of a sramana. And that is the fundamental flaw in which Hindu world has lived for almost 2000 years. I am appealing to you all that we really need to rewrite our philosophies that have downgraded the teachings of the rishis. Some people do not live their full life. We know that this life is a continuity of the karmas from the past life. There are certain programmings that are supposed to blossom in this lifetime. And what we do, we suspend these blossomings. We postpone the blossomings of these karma. By not acting, we are only keeping on hold the things that were to be accomplished within this timeline, in this life. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavrita tangste pratyavigachanti jeke karmahano jana jeke chatmahano jana. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasovrita. Andhena tamasa vritaha taste pratyavigachanti jeke chatmahano janaha. Asurya namate loka, the realms where there is no Surya, no light ever. Andhena tamasa avrita, covered with deep blinding darkness. Tam, in those realms, te pretya avigachanti, they go to those realms. Ekecha atmahano jana, those who kill themselves. The people who are tempted to kill themselves. First thing comes as suicide, but then there are also things to deviate from your own core value principle. Hana is in two meanings. Hana, himsa gatyo. Hana is to kill and hana is to move. So hana is also in the going. In this sense, to deflect from your dharma, to deflect from your action. And what happens to them? We enter into the realm of darkness by deflecting our own assigned dharma. The truth is the universal dharma. How do we maintain that truth? If I am a teacher, my job will be teaching, but if I am a carpenter, then carpentry would be my job. I'm allowing the same divine absolute truth to flow through my carpentry. So it is not that a teacher is superior to carpenter. For this, we have to read the Mahabharata very closely. So there is a Dharma Vyadha story, a hunter who is standing the highest moral of Dharma. So therefore, we should not misunderstand what amounts to Dharma. Ekecha atmahanojana. So this darkness, Asurya, the realm, I would say the realm of the Asuras actually. This is dark world. This dark world is made of Asuras. What is Asura? We have these two tendencies today. One is the tendency to preserve this life for absolutely no reason. That is Asura. If I want to live for the sake of living, I am Asura. Asura is generally translated as demon, but those who are obsessed with Asu, the prana, just to retain the prana for the sake of prana itself, no teleology, no purpose, no meaning, no karma, then when life becomes karmaless, there is no life. Whatever life is left is the life of Asura. Because they're just only living for the sake of living. And that necessarily leads us to darkness. But then, how karma is dynamic? Karma requires movement like hands and feet, but karma is always changing from one to the next. If we are actually idealizing action in our life, we are idealizing these chains, but rishis taught us the changeless, the Brahman, the absolute. Actually, the next mantra helps us explain this also. Anejadekam manaso javiyo naina deva apnuan purvamarsha tadhavato jnana teti tishtat tasminnapo matarishva dadhati. Anejad eka manaso javiyo, there is one so subtle that is not moving, and but again, Manasojaviyo is speedier even than the mind. We say the mind moves so quickly. Actually, brain waves, if we, of course, mind is not brain waves, but even if you check the brain waves, they have very fast movement. Aneja, without moving, it is also Manasojaviyo, is speedier than the mind. So, Naina Deva Apnuan Purvam Arshat. So, those, even Devas in the early times, they could not attain it, achieve it, because these Devas govern the realm of our sensory faculties. Our Gyanendriyas, our Karmendriyas are governed by these Devas. And collectively, these Devas, Indra, Mitra, Varuna, all these have these governing principles in collectivity of these sensory and motor faculties. So even they cannot attain to that, they are not decaying or like not changing basically from the beginning. So what happens then? Tadhavato anyan atiyeti. Atiyeti, it goes beyond the others. When it is moving, it moves so fast that it exceeds the rest. It surpasses all in dynamism. That absolute truth is not just called changeless, static, sthanu, it's like situated, but it is tadhavato anyan atyeti. That absolute itself is so dynamic, it exceeds beyond anything as such. So, and then tishtat, when, but it's not just moving aspect of the self. This is paradoxical teaching. It is also situated dwelling. And when it is tishtat, when it is dwelling, sitting, apaha, actions, then matarishwa, vayu, winds, thapayati, actions, meaning then they situate, they locate, and they crystallize our actions when being static, situated. So let me go back and talk about statism versus dynamism. We are given this as a paradox, but in the absolute sense, speed, change, all these are temporal, spatial notions, meaning only in time that speed can happen, only in place that speed can happen. For change, time and space are necessary, and that absolute itself expresses in space and time, and within that expression, it attains that speed. But when we go beyond time and space, then it is also static. So it is both. So only by action, the Rishi says, only by action that you can recognize this bifold nature, twofold nature of the truth, not in only one way, but in both ways. As the Rishi says further, tadejati tannejati taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadusarvasyasya bahyatah. Tadejati, every company that moves, that pulsates. We now got to the philosophy of Spanda, and everybody says that is tantric philosophy. I start citing from Tadejati that absolute is dynamic, Tat is always for the absolute. That Tat, absolute, is Ejati, is dynamic, is recompany, is moving, is pulsating, that is Pandayamana, is constantly vibrating, pulsating. But it is not just the only reality, Tanna Ejati. It also has another aspect of not changing. It is simultaneously remote and near. It is simultaneously within everybody and without everybody. Then what is the course then? What is the course of action then? Jastu sarvani bhutanyaatmanevānupashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanam tato na vichikitsati. So now, there is no doubt, vichikitsa. We have this doubt what to do, what not to do. When will these doubts cease to exist is when sarvani bhutani atmani eva anupashyati. When you recognize all the sentient beings within yourself, atmani eva, sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam, and you start seeing yourself in the heart of everybody. Everybody is reflecting within you, and you are reflecting within everybody. This is such a transparent monadic universe of beings where I reflect you all within my being, and I also see myself reflected within you all. That is what a rishi is saying is a path of self-realization. Why this self-realization is different from what we are told so far is because this is a relational self-realization. There are Sarva Bhuta, all the sentient beings steaming, reflecting in my heart, their own dreams, memories, anticipations, love. So, and I am also reflected within them. I am not isolating myself from the rest of the world to realize who I am. I am in the world realizing myself among all of us. I am in you. When you think of me, I am already there in your heart. When I think of you, you are already there in my heart. And some thought we have to just free ourselves from all the rest of these things to recognize this self. And some other went even further up and they said you have to also remove the self. In Hindi, we have a proverb, na rahe baans na baje bansuri. So when you break down all the bamboos, there is no flute to play. Destroy the self, then you have no self problem. It is like when you got a cancer, kill yourself, and then there is no cancer. Because only if you have the body, then there is cancer. This is the self-destructive path that we have called philosophies of life. This is not what rishis taught. Times came we thought that rishis had not given us the complete guidance. We deviated, and civilizationally, we have paid very heavily. We have come to the verge of civilizational collapse because we fluctuated from the teachings of the rishis.